any other form, too many of us that is, any other form of resolution of conflicts and disputes and disagreement. We want to send an ultimate message. When you listen to the street slang, it tells you clearly where some people's headspaces are. I'm going to done him. And it talks about, so we are talking about annihilating people, just getting rid of them once and for all. And it finds itself in the language of the street, and it informs behavior. And what is also scary about that is how quickly the children themselves take on
the same language and same thinking.
But no, like, we value respect in this country, right? And rightly so, right? But we don't value respect for life.
Absolutely.
And that's the first thing that we should
be valuing.
We have to get that sorted out.
So how do we, going back to the question, how do we combat the surge? How do we stop the targeting of children? How do we say, look, not that we accept any killing, but this is beyond the pale. This is unacceptable. This is not what we do as Jamaican people. We don't kill children.
How do we reinforce the boundaries?
How do we reinforce those boundaries?
Collective efforts.
Well, it absolutely will require collective efforts.
Because while Professor Arian speaks about collective liability, in order to you have to shift that idea of a liability to an effort and respect for life. And one of the things that I think in this collective effort is the harmonization of efforts. We are all seeking to address the same problem, but we are not speaking together in a cohesive and coherent way. And we have scarce material resources, but I don't think we are short of human competencies and human will. But what we have is a diffusion of the effort. So while we start to talk about, I think we have an idea of what we need to do. I think our challenge is working out the whole. Because when you look across the landscape, you see a lot of effort aimed at addressing the very question that you asked. But what you don't have is that coming together approach, speaking the same language, acting in unison, and that is where we have our biggest challenge in my view.
I have a Facebook question that asks whether stricter sanctions should be imposed on individuals who commit crimes against children, because again I think that the increased awareness or the increase in homicides of children is leading people to say, what are the solutions? Should we be more punitive? What is your response to that? More of the same. Yes.
It basically is more of the same. And
more of the same.
Professor Harriet is better placed than I to talk about how effective is that kind of approach. So why are we not trying to then ask about the preventions through the kind of education and engagement and so on? Because as I said, some people are clueless about what is it that they should be doing different. That does not mean we should let off those who are caught.
Sure. No.
But we can't just keep escalating punishment.
Right. It's going in tandem. It's increasing the vengeance kind of thing. We're a vengeful society.
My father to be locked up. That even those issues of the state trying to intervene in the violence and the disagreements in community by having people arrested lead to further vengeance
and on.
So
okay, thank you.
It has its place, but it can't be the only answer.
Ms. Satchel.
Yes, just listening to everyone, one of the things that came to my mind is that we just need to see children as children. And I just remember a scenario in our conversation, Deputy Commissioner, in another setting when we were talking, and you said that there was this girl who came in the station and she was just out of control. No one could control her. And you sat her down and said, you are a child. And she broke down because no one has ever treated her or seen her as a child. And I think one of the things that we need as a society, it sounds simple, but to see them as children and to treat them as children, the whole economics of it, when we had the discussion of the girl in St. Thomas, that there are so many of these children who are breadwinners, who are now involved in transactional sex. And the men will tell you that these girls are approaching us.
Yes.
They understand their value, but we're not treating them as children. So
children.
one of the solutions, I think it might sound simplistic, but to treat them as children.
Okay.
I'm a little uncomfortable
With?
with the state of our response today.
Okay.
Let me see if I can add one or two words on it. Look, we don't treat all crimes equally.
Mm-hmm.
We regard some as being more serious than others. And we calibrate our responses accordingly.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is what I'm reading into the concern of the person, that we need to more finely calibrate our responses to reflect, send messages to the society that we regard this as outrageous. It's the barriers again. Right?
Moral
So
outrage.
back to that. Okay, it begins with moral outrage. And that's why I don't agree with many in our society who believe that we talk too much. We talk too little about the serious problems.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My thinking on this is that, yes, how does the criminal justice system, the state, which acts on our behalf, send a signal about the seriousness of killing children? And one of the things that it could do is make the responses to these crimes more of a priority, meaning, quite frankly,
Yes.
you allocate greater investigative resources, right? You have a faster reaction.
Faster track.
Right? Let me leave it in that general terms, right? At the moment, but I think the state needs to look seriously at how to erect the barriers, how to reinforce the barriers, and roll back some of this accordingly. For our part as academics, I think our first effort is to flag all of this.
Excellent.
Right? And talk about it in the
Which
way
is-
that we are
which is
talking
what we're
about it
doing.
now, right?
And one of our audience members on Facebook has written something which I'm going to take the time to read because I think it is important. Many parents and agencies responsible for children continue to inadvertently violate them. I'm not so sure about that inadvertently, but I'll continue. Is public education and professional training not the most important investment at this time? How can we teach children about their rights and responsibilities if we don't understand what they are, what adult responsibilities are? We do not model or reinforce respectful, responsible decision-making and action. Training is not a finite education session. Training programs must support trainees' trial and error of application of knowledge, skill development, providing constructive feedback and ongoing support, monitoring, evaluation, and correction. Punitive, negatively reinforcing forces are not working. Does the answer reside in coordinated, collaborative efforts across all relevant state agencies, NGOs, schools, service providers, faith communities, media, and international development partners? What is our national collective agenda for children? And I would really like a response from Mrs. Paige Gray, if you would like.
Yes.
Yes.
I think the point was well stated, and Norbert mentioned it in terms of how do we as state agents and community and academia come together to form a solution to the problem which we all know. There's a National Plan of Action for Children and Violence which will be implemented this year through the Ministry of Youth and Culture.
Just in case our audience didn't hear that, I'm just going to repeat that the National Plan of Action for Violence Against Children is going to be implemented in 2015. Thank you.
Right. And I think it's an effort to have a coordinated approach to this issue of violence against children. And I think that if we can, the point Professor made about having investigators, doing more timely investigation, you have children who come report that they have been abused, and the time it takes to go through the system, they regret having reported because now they feel like
they are on the trial or they did something wrong. We were discussing a case before where the child has reported because the mother is also being abused, and the child now feels that she's responsible, and therefore is saying that I should not have reported, and is now
Yes.
suicidal because she feels that she has contributed.
I'm just sticking in another Facebook question because you might address it in your response. What would the panelists say to members of the public who are fearful of reporting crimes against children?
We have been seeing an increase in the reports, but there's an issue which is a cultural issue as well, which we are seeing playing even with the children reporting, and it is this informal culture. And you're saying to people report, but it is a reality that it could be killed for reporting, even though we have mechanisms where you can report confidentially, right? And so the child, if you report, if you're the neighbor, somebody will say it's you because you knew about it.
You knew about it.
So I think that is causing a lot of fear for persons. Going back to the cultural again, some people don't know that what they are doing is abuse.
So inadvertently was correct in the
Yes.
audience members'
They
comment.
don't know what they're doing. So the information, this child month for the CDA, we decided, because you have been doing the other stuff, you have been prosecuting, we decided to go on the ground, to do the community walk, because I did the march with Dr. Michael Abrams. And it was a good group, very good effort. But to hear that people didn't know that there was a 188 Protect number to call, it was alarming to me, which supports the point we're making that you're doing the mass media campaign, but not everybody's listening to that. So you have to go to where the persons are to give them information.
Sure.
We have been very effective in the parenting at community levels, linking it to PT in schools, where you get the information to them at the ground. And I think that's the way to go. We have to meet with the people in the communities and facilitate their access to resources that can help them to help their children.
Well, we must wrap up. I would just like to say two things. What we have discussed here is the tip of the iceberg. We have shared some of the ideas that we have as to causation and potential solutions. But this is really just the start of a conversation, which I hope will continue and which will lead to some serious solutions. But we have also spoken about coordination of efforts and speaking with one voice. And I'm very strong about the situation of murder of children. As we have said, this is final and complete, and nothing can be done. There is no rehabilitation from murder. And we have to show that this is unacceptable to us. Just like to pause for one moment to acknowledge the families of children who have been killed, unfathomable grief, and sincere condolences. For the families of all children who have been hurt, abused, not allowed the protection which is their right, we have to do better. We're thinking about you, we're thinking about the children, and we hope that this conversation will lead to some improvements and some reductions, which is really what our society needs. Is there a last comment that anyone would like to add? If not, yes?
Well, just to remind people that when we say the children are the future, it is not a cliche. It is the generation that will take care of us in our old age. It is a generation that will come and take our places to have our societies continue to function. For each child that we abuse and harm and deny their full potential as a human being, we are also denying ourselves as an
in the
individual
future.
that potential.
Thank
that
you.
child.
Okay, just remains for me to thank UWI Press once again for allowing us this space to have this conversation, along with their partners MITS, which has allowed the conversation to be widely shared, and to really thank our audience for your participation and for sending in your questions and comments. May this conversation continue. Bye-bye.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one.